It was 2012. The most popular games at the time were the latest Call of Duty, League of Legends, Minecraft. I think Skyrim was still around for some reason anyway. And on the YouTube started showing up videos of a mod for Arma 2. That mod was called DayZ. This was no ordinary zombie game. This was no wave defense, corridor shooter. This was a survival experience. The world has gone to shit, and you must survive. And of course, this took off. This is the first game that ever did anything like this, and it spawned an entire genre since then. And I saw these videos. In fact, the videos I saw were CH Kilroy's The Days Ahead and Pace's car trolling videos. And these videos showed me the most important things about DayZ. They showed me that the players you run into and the experience and the immersion you get into in this world, those are the things that keep drawing you back. This apocalyptic world in which you can do anything you want, and it's the people in it that make it special. But I couldn't participate. See, I didn't own Arma 2, and I couldn't afford it, and I likely couldn't even run it. And so I kind of just accepted that I was never going to be able to play DayZ. I mean, I downloaded the Arma 2 demo, and I flew around some jets, but I never figured out how to get DayZ going. And so it kind of fell off my radar. Now let's cut to 2014. No, we're not talking about the standalone. We're talking about Rust. I saw the videos of Rust from Dunkey and Node, and I just had to have it. People were describing it as Minecraft meets DayZ, and I thought, hey, it's pretty cheap on Steam, and a lot of my mates have been looking for something new to play, so let's jump in, and we had the most amazing experiences. I remember one time, we all decided to jump on a server after spending the day talking about this base we were going to build. We had all the numbers and the math sorted out, how much wood we were going to need, how much stone we were going to need, how much animal fat we were going to need to build this big base. And within the first 15 minutes of building this small hut, to start off our adventure, a clan showed up and trapped us inside our house. They started blowing in the walls, and we were screaming at them like, we have nothing, and they just blew it and they killed us all. Next day, we jumped back on, built this huge tower, and then at that point we were like the biggest clan on the server, went around killing all the fresh spawns, and we became that asshole clan. Things like that, we hadn't experienced in a game yet. You know, none of us had played DayZ. Now, like I said, I was a PlanetSide 2 player, so when Sony Online Entertainment announced they were building a new game called H1Z1, I tuned in to the first stream, and all through the chat were rip DayZ, because H1Z1 had two things that DayZ didn't. Working cars, and zombies that didn't run through walls. Those were both problems in early standalone. I was very excited for H1Z1, I thought, you know, this looks like DayZ. But I hadn't played DayZ yet. And I decided that after watching a few videos on YouTube and seeing the kind of fun people were having on DayZ standalone, I decided to buy it so I could later compare it to H1Z1. I was happy with how it looked, and so I went ahead, spent the money, didn't really care that much. Little did I know I was buying one of my favourite games of all time. What you're looking at here is my very first DayZ character. I remember spawning in at the birch forests just north of Svet in those rock outcroppings, ran inside this warehouse, picked up a hacksaw, a hard hat, and took this screenshot. So my friends started buying DayZ, and we decided to meet up. As you can see here, some of our first meetups as friends, sharing gear. For the first probably 50 hours of me playing DayZ, we would just join empty servers, meet up at around Berezino, and then hide in empty houses. We were way too afraid to leave. We just thought we would die. It freaked the fuck out of us. This world full of zombies and other players, and we didn't want to fight either of them. We just wanted to hide with our gear. It took a while to shake this fear. These screenshots here are of that. Our very first Band of Brothers adventure to Northwest Airfield. When we would find a new gun, we would test it out on our friend Trent. He's the one with the orange raincoat here. Now you might notice his pants are ruined. We would just pick up a gun and go, I wonder what this does. Shoot Trent in the legs. Travelling to Northwest Airfield became pretty common with us. We would travel to Northwest Airfield, get an M4 or a Mosin, and then would head back to Berezino and start camping. Yeah, that's what we did. We were one of those guys, but that's really all you had to do early standalone. That and fuck with one another. Fucking with one another was some of our favourite things to do, just tying each other up, killing each other, testing guns out on one another. I think the caption of this one was, Joey, watch your dick. This is another one of our famed adventures to Northwest Airfield. except along the way one of our friends wanted to go cook a frozen pizza, so we decided to have a photo shoot. The caption to this one was "Bilge." But a few months went on, and then they started adding things to DayZ Standalone, which started to really mix things up. Here was my very first heli crash site in which I came out with an M4 and a nice UN helmet. And then they added fires and animals. It was so intriguing to think that we could just disappear into the wilderness and survive. It became a common occurrence that we would find these big red barns all around the map. We nicknamed them barbecue barns because we would always find a few animals, skin them, take their meat and have a little barbecue together. Play some music over Skype and just hang out and chat. Me and my friends would stay up until like 4 AM when we had to go to school the next day, just playing DayZ, exploring, eating beans, and the world was so scary. Anytime a gun was fired, my adrenaline would start running and I'd freeze up and scared, and I'd mash the keys and get killed because I was stuck in an animation I didn't choose to do. And as they added more things to the map and I went and explored more, I just fell in love more with the game, like here when they added Novo. But I can't talk about the friends I used to play this game with without talking about Game Club. See, Game Club was a Facebook group I started to play with games with my friends, mostly from high school. We would all share what games we were playing, and once a week we had things called game nights, where we'd all vote on a game that we wanted to play together. Now the most common ones were Planetside 2 and DayZ. In this screenshot you can see this is our very first game night, where we met up in Berezino, we killed a few people, and then we took a nice screenshot at the end of the night in Gorka. It was our second game night that really kicked things up a notch. We met in Berezino, which took forever because a lot of these people didn't know much about DayZ. And while we were trying to meet up, fresh spawns just kept appearing out of nowhere. One of them was this Sheldor guy. Well, we tortured him for a bit, but eventually the server kind of crashed and didn't come back up for the night, so we had to move to a different server. Back then, there were no private hives, so you could just take your character, jump on a different server, and you'd have the exact same character. Maybe an hour later, we run into Sheldor again, and once again he becomes our group bitch. But rather than torturing him like we did last time, we decided to give him a chance, and he led us around on a tour of Berezino. We're like, give us the historical tour, mate, give us the historical tour. So this group of about 6 dickheads just torturing this one guy to lead us around Berezino. It was hilarious. Remember this spawn? The Viber baby spawn, when you spawn completely naked, but fully healthy? One time on an Australian experimental server, when they would reset your character after every single server restart, every single person on the server respawned there. So when the server came back up, 40 naked people all just screamed at one another, and then everyone just raced to Northwest Airfield to be the first person to pick up a gun and gun everyone down. I think about 15 people tried to escape and were like, no, I'm not a part of this, but everyone else just banded up together and were punching everyone with the gear. Like, we just decided to form a group to take over the server. It was fucking hilarious. Another time was this when me and my mate met 2 randoms. We decided to go to Northeast Airfield, and we found some campers in the air control tower. Together we took them all out, got fully geared up and said goodbye. Well, there was this time when I got myself locked in an outhouse because you couldn't open it from the inside. My friend had to come rescue me. One of my favourite early memories was this. See, I'm the guy in the UN helmet here. That was my cooking pot, which I called my soup. But then we captured someone and started torturing them. Their name was Asus, like they hadn't changed their name from their base computer name. But he kind of got a Stockholm syndrome. I got out the pot and started smacking him over the head, going, "Oh yeah, Asus, try my soup," and knocking him out and getting him back up, and knocking him out and getting him back up. Well, later on, some people came to save Asus. I guess they had overheard us torturing this guy. Well, we said, "Trent, take care of Asus. Me and Joey are going to save the day." I flanked around, Joey climbed upstairs in the construction. Together, we took out 2 each, and then we went back to Trent and said, "Alright, where's Asus?" And Trent looks at us and goes, "Oh, he had to log out." Now, of course, if you log out when you're tied up, you die. We never saw Asus again. This is the time we decided to have a barbecue, back when you could put fires inside apartments. Not really sure exactly what happened other than the fact we decided to cook me over the fire. But when vehicles came in, I went fucking nuts for the trucks. I'm a fucking truck freak. We would just pick up randoms and take them on their very first truck rides, meeting people on Northwest Airfield and, giving them lifts. I remember it was in 2015 they released an update that made hunger and thirst quite a bit harder. I was so used to being able to spawn in and run straight to Northwest Airfield before dying that I got caught unconscious a few times, so my friend would have to find me based on the descriptions of the forest I last remember seeing before going unconscious, and then he'd have to ferry water and food from the nearby towns to me to try and get me back up. I died a lot, but here's one of the times they actually successfully revived me. And it's about mid-2015 I started to take a step back from DayZ. I started, I'll come back to this when I got a better computer and they had a few more updates to it. Because if you haven't been able to tell, my computer was pretty fucking terrible at the time. I luckily was able to upgrade my computer at about mid-2016, right as 0.60 came out. So not only was I getting a better computer, but everyone was getting better performance. How crisp the game looked and how well it ran compared to the 20 FPS maximum I'd played it at previously. Getting 60 FPS on high graphics, oh boy was I so happy. I reunited with a few of my friends from back in the day and we just explored experimental in the early stables. This one night, Joey insisted on bringing this kid he'd met in Mishkino earlier that day. But by the time the kid finally showed up in Kamishovo, he'd pissed me off talking in TeamSpeak, so I just decided to cut him up repeatedly every time he showed up. And this is where I'll leave the screenshots. You're probably wondering why. There's a lot to go. This is only middle of 2016. Well, this last screenshot was the last screenshot I made before making my first DayZ video. And well, you can watch the rest right here.